I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys, this is episode 144.
Ooh.
We've got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to look back at the Guess Who and the American Woman album.
Hmm?
We're going to check out our top 3 Huey Lewis tunes. And then Jim came up with something, I guess. What was that you read today that you had us doing, Jim?
It's just a reel that came across my feed. And it was like, if you pick your sort of all-star or super group heavy metal band and come with up with a name, which I had a hard time doing.
Yeah.
I realized I don't know if mine will be considered heavy. It's pretty boss when I think about who's in it, but
right.
I was thinking I would do something different if it was just a straight up hard rock band.
Right. Well, first things first, it happened off week, but we have to recognize the passing of Jack Russell from Great White.
No.
One of my all-time favorite singers in rock music, as with many people, they feel the same way. And his body took its toll after years and years of abuse, and it
catches up to you. Yeah.
It definitely catches up. He was a true trooper until the very end. I guess up to about a month or so before he actually retired from touring. Yeah, he just couldn't hang. So it's sad to hear at such a young age. I believe he was like 63.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he only had a few years on us.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I just wanted to mention that. Now, we've stayed away from mentioning people passing because it's happening so much, but this one affected, I think, everybody same way because it's such a familiar voice in the rock community.
Mm-hmm.
So. Well, such a big part of that 80s LA scene.
Yes.
Yep.
First is Dante Fox, and then is Great White.
Correct. And then it was one of those deals where you had 2 Great Whites running around, Jack Russell's Great White and then Great White. And it's a sad thing when the music business takes over the music portion.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Complete shame.
Yeah. So anyways, and they are planning a tribute show here in LA somewhere in the near future. So that should be interesting to see who participates and
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Did you see Tony's post today?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was very, very nice, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's change gears here for a minute. Put on your thinking caps. Think of the band Stars and Coliseum Rock.
Oh gosh.
Think of AC/DC Fly on the Wall. Think of Blue Oyster Cult, Some Enchanted Evening. And then think of Peter Criss, Out of Control. How are those albums connected?
I know I bought Peter Criss's Sight Unseen as soon as I saw it.
Same here.
Production people, studio, maybe.
Close. Possibly. Jim's thinking.
Yeah, I was going to say, same producer?
No. What this is the cover art illustrator is the same on all those albums. Todd Shore is his name. He is a New York illustrator, lowbrow artist, actually.
I didn't know Todd Shore did that. I'm a big fan of Todd Shore's art, actually.
There you go. Yeah, and it is kind of off the wall. And what's kind of interesting about the Peter Criss Out of Control is he took pictures of Peter's then wife. I think her name was Deborah Jensen, and she's actually on the cover, but in his artistic form and everything. And that album is kind of a strange, people are running crazy and wild and everything.
Right.
but
Like the
she's actually,
the
jukebox
jukebox is like
exploding or something
exploding.
like that, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So
He was
anyways,
already on wife number 2 at that point.
yes.
Wow.
It happens.
Yeah,
It
you
happens.
you got money, you got blow, you know.
It's a terrible
Just
thing.
saying, back then, guys,
And if you read his book, and if you believe half of it, he was quite insane, paranoid, and
well, yeah, that'll do that to you. Yeah.
drugs will do that. And he liked his guns, and he was I don't know if he is anymore, quite full of his bravado. And
Hubris.
yes.
There's a good word.
Yes. All right, Jim, what were we talking about? We're gonna name our
Heavy metal
fantasy
supergroup.
heavy metal supergroup.
And we decided just minutes before going on air that we're
gonna
alive or dead, it didn't matter.
Okay.
Pick your band.
All right. Well, let's start with you. This is your idea.
Okay. So let's start with bass player. I'm gonna go Steve Harris.
All right, dude.
On drums, Mike Portnoy.
Who wouldn't pick him? He's in every other band.
Yeah, it was that was my toughest call, actually. Right. But you need somebody who can be a sledgehammer back there if they need to be, right? Vocalist, the metal god himself, Rob Halford.
All right.
Guitar. It's got to be a 2-guitar band.
I concur.
I went with Randy Rhoads.
Uh-huh.
And because their styles are somewhat similar, Zakk Wylde.
Ah, very good. Zach popped in my mind a few times on this. But
right off the bat, I was going to say Glenn Tipton.
Right.
And somebody else, but
yeah. What did you name this band?
Desolation Boulevard.
Okay. There you go. All right, Jerry, what about you?
Less heavy, gentlemen. My bad. I have Mr. Anton Fig on drums.
Okay.
No I've loved that guy. He is no slouch, and he can hit him. He can hit the skins.
Jerry, is he Australian or is he English?
I don't know.
I heard
Australian
him in an interview.
Seems more likely, but I don't know. I don't. He doesn't come off as British, and I just remember all the times on Dave Letterman he'd be talking to him.
Yeah,
I would lean towards Australian. I don't know, but I've heard him enough times. I like him. No, it's all good.
Yep.
On lead, I got CC DeVille.
Right.
Well, he was molded right after Ace Frehley. Every Poison song, I got my Ace Frehley solo.
Yep.
I got Steve Clark on rhythm and riff. Yep. Clark was a riff master.
Yes.
When he passed, that band don't sound anywhere near.
No.
And I have Geddy Lee on bass and vocals.
All right.
Oh.
And it's not. I don't have a crazy name except Fig, Lee, Clark, and DeVille.
That's a super group.
Right? Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
All right. My band is called 50%.
Okay.
And the reason being is 2 of them are dead and 2 of them are alive.
That's about 50. Yeah.
About 50.
That's
but like Jim, I went with vocals and Rob Halford. Because if we're naming heavy metal,
that's right.
That was the first one that popped in my head. Okay, and then I want to stay with that kind of just grungy style of hard heavy metal, and my bassist is Lemmy.
I thought about Lemmy because I thought he could also sing.
Yes, right. Now on drums, I'm going a little more tasteful. Cozy Powell is going to be behind the skins.
Oh, I thought of Cozy Powell too.
Love Cozy Powell. Every band he's played in, his drumming has added something to that band.
Yes.
He is so tasteful.
You can't go wrong.
No. And then handling all the guitars is my personal favorite, Tony Iommi.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So,
yeah.
And I think in some form or another, what's so odd is all of those people have played somewhere in tune with each other. Because Lemmy and Halford have played live together, and Cozy has played with everybody, and Tony and Cozy have played, and Halford
subbed in Sabbath.
Yeah. So a little connection there also. So to our listeners, do you have a heavy metal fantasy band? Please let us know. Give us a name. Be interested to hear what you come up with. The name's harder than come up with the people.
No, you ain't kidding.
Trying to do them justice, you know?
Yeah, good luck finding a name that's not already taken.
Exactly. Yeah. Jim, was it you that sent me that Spinal Tap clip the other day?
Oh, probably so.
Yeah. And I think that's coming off of the new documentary that's coming out.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That original is just loaded.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, the first one's gonna be tough to beat.
Right.
So
it is.
It's all right.
Yeah. Okay, there's no mail call this week, this episode. For me, it's towards the end of the month, and so I'm trying to hold my pennies. And nothing really has come out that I have to have either. That's the other thing.
That's incredible.
Well, and Jerry and I were talking about this. I kind of logged off of Facebook, so I'm not getting these impulse buys coming up that much either.
There's an upside.
Yeah. There are some things I've seen here and there. Like, oh, I have this on CD. I don't need this. And, not everything has to be had. So we'll see what next episode brings, because I'm sure by then we'll have something fun to look at and review. But right now, why don't we check out some new music, Jerry?
Yes, sir, Jim and Frank. I have a band called Air Cannon out of Denver via New Jersey. The name of the album is Tangerine, which came out June 7th. The song Frank's going to spin is Keep It Clean. And I have a short bio from, Stephen Buck himself. Air Cannon is a back to basics rock project of Denver musician Steve Buck, born and raised in New Jersey to a spice salesman father and an upholsterer mother. Steve found a career as a noise engineer, spending his time making wind turbines quieter. His debut album, which is this, Tangerine, is a collection of songs written over a 15-year period, but recorded in 5 days. The result is an eclectic and raw roller coaster of an album with grit and punch delivered by overdriven guitars and bombastic, pristine drums. Steve croons of failed relationship, failed policies, and the failing of society, though he was actually a pretty happy guy. Thank you, Stephen. So we got Stephen Buck, vocals, guitars, bass, Rich G on drums and key, recorded and mixed by Rich G at the Ghost House in Denver, produced by Stephen Buck and Rich G, mastered by Brad Smalling at Evergroove Studio, all songs written by Stephen Buck, album artwork by Miles Cartwright, and here again is Keep It Clean from Air Cannon from the album Tangerine.
Said hello to the Beauregards, said goodbye to my sleeping temper, walking off on the promenade, walking down to the poorest shelter, rain is falling softly as I breathe, I keep it clean. People speaking in talks abound, never know when the cautious stranger hold my ear to the ocean sound as the tide turns around in anger. Fight settling down for now. I relate to this island that I walk upon, but I fear the seven seas. I keep it clean. I keep it clean. And I let it be. With a limb in both legs, I cirque the sand. I settle in and I tell the tongue tale, and you know what I mean. I keep it clear. I keep it
And that's Air Cannon. We keep it clean. Jim, what are your thoughts on that?
When that started out, cool groove. I knew when it started, these guys are going to know how to end a song.
Yeah.
I could just tell by the way the riff was going.
Right.
It sounds like the radio mix to me. The vocals are kind of way up in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But not terribly so. Kind of sounds a little 90-ish to me. Kind of almost like a little grungy edge, but that organ
Right.
kind of keeps it timeless, I think.
Yeah,
really enjoyed the bridge, loved the bass tone.
Yep.
Love the way they worked that out where the bass is going and then the guitar kind of kicks in at the end of that verse. That was well laid out.
Yeah, I like the overall song, and it almost felt like after each verse, a little bit more guitars were getting thrown in there. And I was listening, is there more guitars or am I just anticipating more guitars? But it builds, and it's well-crafted song. Like that a lot. And they're available everywhere, Jerry?
I seen them Bandcamp specifically. I saw them on Prime Music. I saw them on Apple Music. Don't have a lot of social, but if he's on Prime and Apple and Bandcamp, it's Air Cannon can be found.
Gotcha.
I didn't even check YouTube, but yeah, just well done. And like Jaime says, knows how to end it. It did seem like more stuff was coming in the longer the song went. Frank, love the bass, love the guitar. This guy does it all. Air Cannon from Denver, fantastic.
All right. Okay, well, Air Cannon, check them out. Right now, let's talk about our top 3 Huey Lewis and the News tunes. I picked this band because I was thinking of shows that I'd gone to, and I had seen him twice at Irvine Meadows back in the 80s and was never disappointed. Fantastic. Just a great live show. And like I said, the Tower of Power with the horns behind him. And he just put on a fantastic show every time I saw. So I thought, let's go back and check out our top 3 tunes. Now, they are 80s. They are dated. They are 80s. You have keyboards and synthesizers and sax and everything, and pop sensibility all the way around. But Huey Lewis has a vocal ability, or did, I should say, that was out of this world. I loved his scratchy,
gravelly
voice. Yeah. And he could sing anything, just about anything. But I'm gonna just throw out my top 3 songs real quick, and then we'll go to Jim and then Jerry. First one, how about Hip to Be Square? You can jump around, and that's a good radio hit. And then a song that is almost similar in the style and the beat and everything else, Working for a Living. Love that tune. And then I think going farther back,
great line in that song. Something about I get my check on Friday, but it's already spent or something.
Already spent.
I always loved that line.
and my third favorite song is Some of My Lies Are True.
Oh,
I think that's off the first album, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but that was when I really realized that he was telling some great stories in 3 minutes, and that was one of them. So with that, let's go on over to Jim. What about you with Huey Lewis and the News?
This is a guy that was like out of my wheelhouse,
right?
Like a band that I never pursued or anything, but you would hear it on the radio and they'd be on MTV, and you couldn't help but like realize just how catchy some of that stuff is. Also, fun fact, played harmonica on Thin Lizzy's Live and Dangerous album.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh,
he was everywhere.
He did like a ton of session work.
Right.
Stuck with You.
Okay.
Almost.
Do You Believe in Love? Because I think it's just got a great
tune.
chorus. And Don't ever tell me that you love me.
All right.
That was the one that I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, I totally forgot about this song, but it's got kind of that Ramones-y guitar, and I was like, oh, this rocks.
Right. You were talking about session work, and I believe it. You'd have to look it up, but I believe his band played backup on Elvis Costello's first album, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check that, but I remember we had talked about it on an episode before, but it's one way or the other. It was either the Attractions were on Huey's album or vice versa. But going with that, Jerry, what about you? Your top three?
Power of Love.
Power of Love.
Hip to Be Square.
Yep.
And Heart of Rock and Roll.
Oh, yes.
Just, yeah. There are so many. He's got a ton. He's got a ton, folks, on Conspiracy Land. If you start looking at his singles, there's a bunch. There's a bunch.
And that was the thing about, I guess, probably after 4 came out, if you went to see him live, every song, the whole concert was a greatest hits concert.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you get banned, we're going to play this new one, and you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the bathroom or whatever. But with his band, and at that time, in those concerts, it was just one after another. And you're almost exhausted because you're either dancing or you're singing those songs right along with them. Fun show. So
I have the answer.
Okay, what was it?
Clover.
There you go.
Are best known as the backing band for Elvis Costello's 1977 debut album, My Aim Is True, and for its members going on to greater success with Huey Lewis and the News, the Doobie Brothers, and Lucinda Williams.
There you go. Right. And fantastic musicians at that.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. All right. Jerry, you're
Yes.
up next, right? For the
I
album?
am for the
Okay.
classic. Yes.
Yep. You hold on to that, and we'll get
I'm
to you
ready
in a
to
little
go.
bit. All right.
Ready.
All right. So I've got a band, Tim Finisham, and he's the co-founding member of the Australian metal outfit Frankenbach. And he's now gone rogue, and his new album is called High Art for the Low Lives. The song I'm going to play for you is New Symbol of Angst. This song contains massive amounts of exuberance and key changes. And it asks the age-old question, basically, and this is what he's been asking himself and everything. Why and how do legit social political concerns keep getting hijacked by freaking Nazis? So the song is called New Symbol of Angst.
But the marching there is to fear. Violence is the answer.
Tim Finish Him with a new symbol of angst. I did not pick that song for the lyrics because I'm sure they're not ready for prime time.
And when that little when it has that little red E next to the song, you know it's a little unprime timey.
I just love the music so much.
That was insane.
Before we get your guys' thoughts on it, 14 tracks of punk rock sliding sideways. It tastes better than it looks, he says.
Oh man, he ain't joking.
It was released May 24th of this year, written, performed, and recorded and mixed by Tim Finish Him at Clubhouse Melbourne, mastered at Audio Avenues by Cliff Young. The art was done by Nathan Pilch, and there's a picture of Tim on the album itself, and that was taken by Charmaine Middledeck, and I screwed her name up so bad. I apologize, Charmaine. Anyways, what were your thoughts on that, Jim?
Well, when it started out, I was all like, oh, this is gonna be like some sludge metal thing, and then it kicked into high gear, and it was like, whoa, there we go. Yeah. I really want to go back and I want to read the lyrics on this. If I can,
I might have to do that
lyric sheet or something, because just hearing what the song is about.
It's not about blooming flowers, right?
No, but
it's not about feeding the horses or
right.
When you talk about things getting hijacked by Nazis, I'm just, it seems very
you don't just throw that comment out there. Yeah, you got to be a little.
Well, it's political, obviously,
Yeah,
right? And so you want to get the full message of that.
Right.
That lead break was like almost chaotic, like
yes,
over the top of the drumming. And then it all came together like kind of right when it gets back in. So full energy.
Yes. Jerry, what about you?
Drums, love it. My pulse went up 20 beats.
Yes.
That whole time, and as Jaime would like to say, he knows how to end a song.
Right.
It just stopped.
And it had that punk sensibility to it. So it was just
that was
2 minutes,
vicious.
13 seconds, and it was over.
Oh,
yeah. Perfect length.
Yeah. That was on fire. That was great.
Well, check it out on Bandcamp. Tim Finish Him. You can check wherever else you get your music.
I like the name.
Ooh.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to American Woman by the Guess Who.
Gonna mess your mind.
This was their 6th studio album.
Wow.
Wow.
Released in 1970.
Huh.
I didn't realize it was that late. Interesting.
Right. I thought it was one of their first or second albums. I really did. And I'm just reading up on this. Released January 1970, and it was the last to feature Randy Bachman. And then I guess he came back into the fold in 1983 after as you know, he was with Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
38 minutes, 17 seconds in length. There's 3 or 4 songs on there you heard on the radio quite often.
Yep.
Some instrumentals and just good guitar rock music. I really enjoyed it. 3 singles, No Time, American Woman, and then the flip side to that, No Sugar Tonight.
No sugar tonight.
That was a single in itself, but it was
my coffee. No
sugar
tonight.
Let's see.
What a voice too.
Oh yeah. The thing that's interesting is it was number 1 in Canada. Yeah, went platinum in Canada because they were a Canadian band, and it went gold here in the United States. They did good. Reached number 9 on the Billboard charts here in the United States.
Wow.
Not bad. Not bad.
No.
I don't know. I enjoyed going back and listening to this album because it was straight ahead guitar rock from the 70s, had that sound, had that feel. And right off the bat, for me, No Sugar Tonight was my favorite song on that album. As much as I love American Woman, but it's been played to death for me. So Lenny Kravitz had such a huge hit with it just a few years ago, really. But
you have a preference?
I like Lenny's version. I really do, only because it's updated. It's got seriously distorted guitars. And whereas the 70s version is 70s guitars, But that being said, I love the Bachman Turner Overdrive tunes when they came around after this. So
Yeah, I was a much bigger BTO fan.
right. Yep. Now going back and listening to this album, what were your overall thoughts?
It was, I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
The thing about the American Woman, I kind of prefer the Guess Who version. To me, it's a little more raw, a little more raucous.
Right.
Lenny slowed it down just a little bit, and
Right.
I think it lost a little bit of the kind of a little bit of the groove in it.
Right.
The Canadian band, and I was always bothered by American Woman because I thought these are supposed to be the most polite people on the planet.
Yeah, taking a stab
And,
at
and they're
it.
saying bad things about American women.
Yep.
And I was like, what the heck? Like, what's your gig?
Right.
So maybe I don't know if I'd say it was my favorite on the record, but of the two kind of bigger singles, I preferred No Time.
Okay.
No Sugar, I didn't know that was a flip side or whatever. I've probably only heard that song on the radio maybe a handful of times.
Okay.
When I heard it, I recognized it, but it was
Right.
like, geez, I haven't heard this. Because the other two get all the airplay.
Sure.
They get all there. Yeah.
Only song I didn't really like on the record was Talisman.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised. There's a couple great blues tunes on the record.
Yeah.
There is.
Humpty's Blues, and I think what was the other one? Is it 969?
It might be. Yeah.
That's the
Um,
instrumental. Yeah.
But the rest of it's got a much more of a sort of pop sensibility to it.
Yep.
So I was a little surprised. I think I kind of expected it to all sound like American Woman to a certain level. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I thought the rest of the songs rock. Like I said, the only one I didn't like was Talisman. It was, to me, a little hokey and forced.
A little bit out of place on that record.
Like they were going for some kind of mystical thing, but they're not
Right.
like a mystical
Yeah.
deal.
Right.
It
Put
didn't
that
make
up-
sense to me.
Yeah. All right. And Jerry, what about you?
No Time was my fave also. I never had this, so it was a great listen. Of course, you only hear from the radio, and it's the top three American Woman, No Time, and No Sugar Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great to hear the other tunes. And 969, The Oldest Man, great instrumental, I thought.
Right.
Gave you a little insight on what they're about. So all in all, I'd say a fantastic album and a great first visit.
Very good.
I never had any guests. So yeah.
For me, the only reason I really knew of them besides American Woman was after I was already into Bachman Turner Overdrive and doing a little research on where they came from. Oh, he was
Former members of, yeah.
Yeah. And once I went back and listened, it's like, oh, yeah, I can see where Bachman Turner Overdrive got their sound from.
Mhm.
Randy Bachman and just excellent guitar player.
Mhm.
They had a nice little run for a while.
They sure
Yeah,
did.
they did.
All right. Well, that, like I said, there's not a whole lot you can say. 70s rock. That
Great.
we heard it on the radio. We heard it probably in backgrounds in movies, and you don't even realize it sometimes too.
Yeah.
That's one thing about those style of songs is they're played an awful lot. So, all right. Again, Jerry, you've got the next pick, so hold on to that just for a little
I'm
bit.
holding. Yes, sir. Yep.
We're going to jump right into Jim and his song for us tonight.
Yeah, a band we featured before, and a band that I think has one of the absolute best names in the world, Librarians with Hickeys. It's Ray Carmen and Mike Kruker. This is a brand new single from them on Big Stir. These guys are out of Akron, Ohio. And go ahead and drop the needle in the groove, Frank.
talk to you. It's all gone south. Hello, operator. I'm glad you're on the other end. Don't you wish the whole world would shut its mouth? Don't you wish the whole world would shut its mouth? I wish the whole world would shut its mouth.
Be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or call your operator to help you.
There is Librarians with Hickeys. And I think they're paying a tribute to Jim Croce somewhere, somehow.
Right?
There's just a twist and a turn and a very familiar theme, and I just love that
Yes.
song.
I don't know if I said the title. The title of the song's Hello Operator. I don't remember if I said it or not, but
That's beautiful.
when I was listening to that, I thought, can you remember the last time you spoke to an operator?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you I don't want to take away from the band, but do you remember when we were kids and you dialed 411 for information?
Directory assistance.
I dialed 411 information and asked them why wrestling was taken off of channel 13. And the lady says, do you need a number? And I said, no, I need information. Why was wrestling taken off of channel 13?
yeah.
And anyways, after I hung up, they called back and my mom answered, and they tried to have them explain to me that that is not what information actually meant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
And I
that's
said,
like that's like back in those days, your neighbor could give you a spanking almost.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
So anyways, Librarian with Hickeys, very,
That
very
was beautiful.
power poppy,
That is
fantastic tune from them. And if they've got an album coming out, or is
That's a newest single.
newest single? All right.
That's right about perfect. Jangly
Yes.
background, progression,
Yeah. Had it all, didn't it?
lyrics. Oh,
Yeah.
Tell what does he tell the world to shut its mouth?
yeah.
We were just talking a little earlier about not
Yeah.
on social media for that
Yeah.
kind of very reason.
That's a good way to put it.
That's
A
it.
little bit of a throwback, but also timely.
That was great.
Yes. Very, very, very
That was just beautiful.
apropos
Jim.
for the time.
That was just beautiful.
Yep.
Man.
All right. Librarian with Hickeys. Check them out. I'm sure it's not out. It will be very soon.
Go to bigstir.com or you can find them on Big
Excuse
Stir
me.
on Bandcamp or the band on Bandcamp.
Okay. Jerry, how about we jump into your picks for the next episode for our top 3 songs and then a classic album.
Okay, my next pick for my top 3 songs is the top 3 by Blondie.
Yeah.
Now, I know we covered, I think, one of their albums
Yes.
as a classic,
Right.
but we didn't pick a favorite 3. Yeah.
Correct. Very good.
Yep.
Now, how about a
And
classic album?
my classic pick is his second solo album, 1987, Mick Jagger,
Oh.
Primitive Cool.
All right. I like Mick Jagger.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the re-listen, something popped in, stuff like that. And on the re-listen, I really like it.
Yeah.
There's one song on there I always love, the video and the song, but it
Uh-huh.
just got, that's what I love. It makes you listen to it. So
Right.
just go, where's that from? What album is that off of? Oh, it's off of this. And then you listen to it. And it's like, it's a treat. It's like you're getting a gift. So yeah, Mick Jagger, Primitive Cool from
Very
87.
good.
I think it's the second
All right.
solo.
Definitely check that one. I don't think
Yeah.
I've listened to that quite a while. I think I've got the album around here somewhere.
In a bit.
I was when it came to the solo stuff of the Stones, I always bought Keith
Keith's.
Richards stuff.
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
Keith.
Yep.
He's not a great singer, but I love the way he sings, and his guitar playing and solos, everything just fantastic.
That those expensive Winos records,
Yeah.
They're great.
it's just freaking great.
And Mick, he's one of those guys. He gets everybody and their brother to play on his records because
Yep.
they want to be on his record. So
Yeah.
he's always got a star-studded a band backing him up. I
Mhm.
love that.
Mhm.
Niles Rodgers and all those different people jumping.
Oh,
in
yeah.
there. Fantastic. All right. Well, guys, Jerry,
Yes, sir.
you have anything before we get out of here?
I do, Jim and Frank and folks out in Conspiracy Land. It's out there. You heard it tonight. We have the Air Cannons. We have Tim, Finish Him, and we have the Librarians with Hickeys. It's out there on all musical platforms. And it just makes you keep the faith in music. Just when you're thinking, you get stuff like this, then it gives you hope. And so thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it, and keep rocking.
All right. Besides what I normally say, I want to add, I watched a reel the other day, and I forget what guitarist it was, but he was saying he's concerned because of DJs and the electronic music and everything else. He doesn't think that kids are even going to want to play guitar in 20 years. What do you think about that?
Well, I remember when Joe Jackson released what's the album with Stepping Out on it? Gosh, damn it.
Something shoes, something. Or no, his shoes were on the cover.
No, that was Look Sharp. Anyway, so when that album came out, it's a ton of electronic stuff. Like the drum beats are all electronic, right? It's heavy keyboard and everything else. And I remember my drummer's neighbor said, like, this is the direction music's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
People won't be playing guitars. It will all be done. Everything will be computerized. And my argument was, there's no soul in that. Right. It's too precision. You've taken out all the human element. I don't think it's going to go that way. And we're still making music. People are still touching strings and keyboards and drums.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it's still an analog world when it comes to making music in that sense. Right.
I hope it sticks around. I really
Me too.
do.
So people always, I think, will make those kinds of predictions, but I'm always inspired when I see I can go on YouTube or
yes,
I'm not on TikTok but if I
youngsters.
see reels on Instagram and I see young people playing guitar
Youngsters laying
and a
it
lot of
out.
young women playing guitar and doing it well.
Lots. Yeah.
Something you didn't see back when we were kids. It's
No.
Yeah.
rare to see a girl playing a guitar.
There's two
Check
things
out,
that
yeah.
have changed in our world: girls playing guitars and girls riding skateboards.
No.
Fantastic world.
And kicking ass on skateboards.
Well,
You ain't
absolutely.
kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Guitars
Young
are-
girls even.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad that is broken out.
Oh yeah. Which, if you think about it, when you think of all the great gymnasts, right? Simone Biles
Right.
She's like 27. I mean, she's like the exception to the rule, but gymnasts are always young girls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So for them to make
Tennis.
a transition onto a
Yep.
skateboard shouldn't shock anybody.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, with that, I know it's still warm out there. We're still at the tail end of summer, so please stay fresh, cheese bags.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jim, what about you?
Well, if you made it this far, if there's anything you like that you heard, smash the like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell, slide into your DMs every 2 weeks or so. Bring in great music.
Mm-hmm.
Leave a comment. Shoot us a line. Tell us what your favorite 3 Huey Lewis songs are. Tell us what you think of tonight's band.
Yeah.
Think of the Guess Who. Who? Did I say? Think of the Guess Who. Guess Who. And what do you like better? Do you like Lenny Kravitz's version? Do you like Guess Who's version? I'm on the Guess Who side. Frank's on the Lenny Kravitz side. Other than that, that's it.
Up. He's on the Guess Who side. Already
What I get for bagging on American women?
Yeah, Canada. Who asked you anyway? Excuse me.
All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, Jim, why don't you take us on home?
Shop is closed.